That certainly surprised me. Even money for Mind That Bird, 5-1 for Dunkirk and Charitable Man. Another note, earlier today, the biggest race in England was run, the Epsom Derby. The Irish owners of Dunkirk ran 6 of the 13 horses in the Epsom Derby, finished 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They'd like to get that first place spot covered now in the Belmont.
Chocolate Candy 9-1, and you can see Nick Zito. We talk so much about Nick Zito. Miner's Escape, Brave Victory, 9-10. He's done it before with long shots. Boy, the prices would be there again. 20-1, 26-1 as the final preparations are set to begin in the paddock.
The Belmont Stakes has long been rightfully known as the test of the champion. Run at the true English classic distance of 1.5 miles, it is the most searching of the Triple Crown events. The race that calls upon a horse for all the heart, will, and desire he can muster in the longest 2.5 minutes of his life. The Belmont summons from his ancestry all the speed, strength, and stamina bequeathed to him through a lineage that stretches back 200 years. It is the race that best defines him as a thoroughbred.
Randy Moss, Jerry Bailey with you trackside as we get set for Belmont number 141. Last year, Belmont Day capped over $99 million in wagering, and this year the majority of the win pool money has been landing on Mind That Bird, That Man's Horse, Chip Woolley, and the crutches out in force. Remember, he was on those crutches going through the mud for the Derby walkover. That's when he was 50-1. He said he wouldn't miss it for anything. And on the crutches again, breathing hard as he was interviewed on the way over for this Triple Crown finale. Making the walkover from the detention barn. This is where the crowd starts to sense it. Janine reported on Mind That Bird's disposition, Jerry, that he starts to sense it.
He does. He knows what's going on here, and it's a concern for me because if he's the least bit aggressive early on in the race and Calvin can't relax him off the pace, and I mean really on a long rein relaxes him, then he's going to wear himself out to a degree. It'll minimize his punch. He's got to do what Calvin wants him to do, and that is relax.
And when you talk about the 1.5 mile distance, the test of the champion, it makes relaxing even more paramount.
Chip, let's go now, Chip. Go Bulls, baby.
Now this year it's all about what no one has ever even attempted to do before. Calvin Burrell, the jockey, he's trying to sweep the Triple Crown on 2 different horses. He is a hardened, a likable pro. He is that Forrest Gump wholesome innocence and Muhammad Ali's signature confidence. And Tom Rinaldi joins us with more. Tom?
Well, Joe, in many ways, Calvin Burrell's journey is summarized by 2 of the governing dynamics in horse racing, and that's distance and time. How far he has traveled to get here and how long it's taken him to stand squarely in the spotlight and on the very edge of history.
Ooh, you hear that? That's the subway.
That's what?
That's the subway.
At the bottom?
Yep.
No.
Even in his boldest dream, Calvin Burrell never imagined horses could carry him so far away from the place that defines him.
From Callahoola? No, they ain't got no heights like this in Callahoola.
Catahoula is where Burrell's journey started, in the heart of Louisiana's Cajun country.
Our little town called Callahoola, and might have had 2 stop signs, and that's it. Very small town, maybe 200 people at the most.
The youngest of 5 children, Burrell was an unplanned addition. Family members still call him by his nickname, Boo Boo. He was on horseback by the age of 2, and at 12, Burrell dropped out of school.
Half the time I wouldn't go to school. All I wanted to do was ride.
His older brother Cecil, a trainer, took him under his wing.
I didn't have to teach him very much. All I had to do was just chomp on him every day to make sure he'd show up and wake up about 3:30 in the morning. And as far as teaching him how to ride, he learned how to ride by himself. I mean, he wasn't scared of nothing. You get paid $4 or $5 every horse, just to ride them. And then if you win, you got paid more. Sometimes I'd come home with $300 or $400, at the end of the weekend.
Street Sense has roared from 19th position to first in the Derby.
After winning the 2007 Kentucky Derby aboard Street Sense, the kid from Catahoula was invited to the White House.
I said, well, Boo, I said, you need to go. Because I tell you what, they got a lot of kids back home. Where we come from, you know, that would have loved to have been in his spot. You know, so I thought it worked out beautiful.
Today, Burrell is on the edge of history. After winning the Derby aboard Mind That Bird and the Preakness on Rachel Alexandra, Burrell is back on Mind That Bird again, trying to become the first jockey to win the Triple Crown on different horses.
I want to do it. I mean, I really, really, really want to do it. I want to win this race. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but I want to do it.
Amid the talk of racing royalty, Burrell remains a common man, despite his uncommon celebrity.
What a story this has become.
That was funny because, I mean, just people screaming Calvin's name and then screaming Paris Hilton's name. I never thought that would ever happen. That's just beyond bizarre.
No matter how bright the lights or how far he travels, Burrell's roots forever ground him.
I was very proud from where I come from. I tell you what, if I would have come from somewhere else, I might not be where I am today.
Well, the 1.5-mile test of a champion is a test Burrell has never taken. He has never ridden in the Belmont Stakes before. It'll be a new experience. If he is able to win within this hour here today, it will be a new experience for anyone who has ever ridden in his position in the history of his sport, Joe.
Tom, it has been an amazing month for Calvin Boo Boo Burrell, like his family likes to call him. And Jerry, show us how he's pulled this off.
Well, let's go look at the masterful ride Calvin put on in the Kentucky Derby just 5 weeks ago. It starts on the far turn, and Calvin highlighted at the top of your screen. You'll see Mind That Bird on the rail. Calvin's normal position highlighted right there. Now Calvin's rolling. He's going about 40 miles an hour as he goes up the fence inside the first group of horses highlighted by the gold arrow. He's running so fast, he's almost overtaking Atomic Rain in the Orange Silks. But instead of running over him inside, Calvin definitely moves to the right, but he's also already eyeing the next hole he's going to go through, and that's some 50 or 60 yards in front of him. And believe me, it takes some stones to do what this guy's doing, because if these horses shift over in front of Calvin, there's a huge pileup. But Calvin blows through that hole because his motto is there's no hole too small for me to go through if I got a horse that's running. And this is the very kind of move that made him win the Kentucky Derby at 50-1. Amazing performance by Calvin and Mind That Bird. Now we go to the Preakness. And if Calvin would have ridden Mind That Bird here, we're going to show a virtual trip that he would have gotten on the inside. But Mike is under the red dome on the actual Mind That Bird, and it all sets up here because Mike is in the 4-path. And he has no option to go inside like Calvin would have. So what does he have? He has the 7th path and has to wait on horses to get to that path, where Calvin would have been on the inside with a golden trip following Musket Man. The result through the stretch is Mike Smith actually on Mind That Bird is a length further back than Calvin would have been with that smooth inside trip. And at the wire, the virtual Calvin Burrell on Mind That Bird would have finished a half a length in front of Rachel Alexandra, whereas Mike Smith actually finished a length behind. We would have been going for a Triple Crown.
So you say, undoubtedly, that if Calvin Burrell rode Mind That Bird in the Preakness, he wins the Preakness over Rachel.
Yes, for one reason. Calvin would have had him on the rail down the backside, and it would have set up the whole inside trip, whereas Mike didn't have that option because he was in the 4-path.
Strong
and Mike's a great rider.
Mike Smith, a Hall of Fame jockey, but this, a rare sports accomplishment that's on the line today, Randy.
And how would a Calvin Triple Crown stack up with other rare athletic feats in sports annals, such as Johnny Vandermeer, the only pitcher to throw back-to-back no-hitters. That was for the Revs in '38. Then there's the great Oscar Robertson, 61 and 62, averaged the triple-double for the whole season. The only NBA player ever to do that, Tiger Woods. The only pro golfer to win 4 straight major championships. And D. Wayne Lucas, the only trainer to win the Triple Crown with 2 different horses in the same year. Burrell, well, right now, he's the only jockey in the Triple Crown era to win a Derby and the Preakness on 2 different horses in the same year. Can he add the Belmont to complete a sweep?
No Triple Crown on the line, but the Calvin Crown on the line as they start to make that walk from underground Belmont, from the jocks room, up the stairs, out to the paddock. And there is Calvin wearing those silks of Double Eagle Ranch. And owner Mark Allen, the co-owner, is Dr. Leonard Block of Buena Suerte Equine Farm. That means good luck in Spanish. And you know they'll be saying that to Calvin before he takes a leg up on Mind That Bird.
Here the jocks come up through the tunnel, and these guys are thinking different things. You know, Johnny Velasquez is going to be in between the leaders in the back. Mind That Bird, he's probably going to worry about both of them. Whereas Alan Garcia just has to worry about going as slow as he can up front. And of course, Calvin, he's going to just try and get Mind That Bird to relax early in the race, and he'll take it from there. He's a very instinctive rider.
You got to like a guy who's so pure that his fiancée, Linda, said that he asked the other day, when am I going to get to meet Jay Letterman? You got to like that.
He was on Leno a few weeks ago. He was on Letterman last night with Paris Hilton, and now he stands with his peers for the photo. Janine.
Well, Calvin Borel may be the name on everyone's lips these days, but Alan Garcia has been on a little roll of his own. In the last 5 weeks, Garcia has won 5 graded stakes races, including the Peter Pan on Charitable Man. His agent, Tony McAuliffe, told me the number of phone calls for Garcia's services has doubled since he won the Belmont Stakes last year on Datara. Back then, Garcia was a 22-year-old just trying to crack the big time. Well, that win sparked a run that's made Garcia the leading rider in 2008. Jay?
Janine, Kent DeSormo has been snake bit in the Belmont Stakes. Last year he rode Big Brown and pulled the horse up. 11 years ago he got beat a dirty nose going for the Triple Crown on Real Quiet. He's got 3 wins in the Kentucky Derby and 2 in the Preakness, but none in the Belmont. He told me this week, to be in the Hall of Fame and to have not checked this off my list is a glaring omission. I'd like to nail down all 3 American Classics. It's that simple. With more on the race, here's Kate and Bradar.
Jay, I spoke to Garrett Gomez earlier in the race. I asked him about how he felt going for his first Triple Crown victory and how he felt about this racetrack surface. And he really felt that it was going to be ideal for his horse. He wasn't guardedly optimistic would be the choice of words, and he felt that he would have the same style that you've seen in almost all the rest of the races with the one exception, and that would be the finish. Joe?
Thanks, Kate and Garrett Gomez on Chocolate Candy. There's Chip Woolley. Let's get Hank's pick. Kenny and Hank, where are you heading with your cash?
Well, quick housekeeping for those playing pick 3s, 4s, and 6s. Gio Ponte was the winner of the Manhattan, the numbers 5, 3, and 8. I'm no bloodstock agent, but I would say Mind That Bird did not look as calm as we've seen him in the past. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's to root for and bet against. That's why I'm with Dunkirk, even as Mind That Bird goes for a virtual Triple Crown.
Just a couple of quick points. I like Charitable Man. I think he's going to be the controlling pace in the race. He won the Peter Pan here a few weeks ago. He's well rested. He's fresh. And this is the old Woody Stevens theory. Bring them to me while they're knocking each other off in the Triple Crown races or knocking each other out. I'm going to be ready for them. Now, Dunkirk didn't run well in the Derby. Todd Fletcher, his trainer, took him back, trained him up to this race, much like Nick Zito did with Birdstone. And Todd would not be here if he didn't think he's ready. So I'm going to put these 2 in exactas with Mind That Bird, Flying Private, and Brave Victory, $10 exacta boxes. That's my betting strategy, but I like Charitable Man to win.
All right, Joe, hammer is down.
Charitable Man, come to them, said Woody Stevens. Woody won 5 straight of these Belmonts back in the 80s. Jockeys have taken a leg up, and there is Charitable Man, who won the Peter Pan here. He's a perfect 2 for 2 at Belmont, 3 for 3 on dirt. His 3-year-old season was delayed due to injury.
I'm in Hank's corner here. I think we'd all love to see Mind That Bird win, and maybe he will. Maybe he's just too good for these horses. But to me, I think this race sets up more for Charitable Man than any other horse in the field, and I think he's going to win.
Well, a lot of that depends on what Jose Lezcano does on Miner's Escape, because he is the one horse that can pressure Charitable Man early on in the race and make him go faster than Alan Garcia wants to go. If he lays off of him, then it's all Alan's dictate.
Yeah, and let me give you this handicapping angle on Charitable Man. A horse with a starting letter C has won the Belmont 20 times, more than any other first initial. Go with that to the betting window. They make the turn in the paddock. And Alan Garcia, who is really an emerging star. This is a young man who has taken a hold of this New York circuit. Let's check in again with Janine.
Well, I'm here with Kieran McLaughlin, the trainer of Charitable Man. Kieran, you gave serious consideration to running Charitable Man in the Derby, but you opted not to. You skipped the Preakness, won the Peter Pan. What have the last 5 weeks since the Derby done for him in terms of preparation for today?
He's training very well. He couldn't be doing any better. He won the Peter Pan impressively, and we're just very pleased with the way he's come into this race. He's very happy and training well.
Now, Alan Garcia seems to be at the controls for this race because your horse has quite a bit of speed. He was telling me earlier the track is playing very quick. It's playing to speed horses. What have you discussed about strategy?
Well, we said if Nick Zito's horse wants to go, Jose Lascano, if he sends and he clears us, great, we'll lay second. But he's going to have to send to get by us because we're pretty fast.
Pretty fast. You heard it, Joe.
Can see the shadows growing longer in the paddock of Belmont, one of the great sports scenes in America. And it's been going on this way for now 141 years as they will start their walk, and Todd Pletcher leads the way for Dunkirk, who was so regally bred and royally priced at $3.7 million. Kent DeSormo going past us on Summer Bird. You remember all the pressure on Kent just a year ago. Jerry, you've made that ride through the tunnel many times in your career. What's going through the jocks' minds right now?
Right now, it's going to be kind of hard for them to hear because there's a huge roar of noise. It's called the wall of noise here at Belmont as they walk through this tunnel from the paddock area out to the racetrack area. And you're just collecting your thoughts.
For the call to the post for the Belmont Stakes, here's Sam the Bugler. Saw Garrett Gomez, the first to make his way there. He's still looking for a Triple Crown win. And Calvin Burrell, he spent a week just handling the media duties here in New York, having a lot of fun, getting himself on national TV in the morning and the late night shows. And now, after a day where he has sat back in the jocks room, his only mount of the day. So much attention has gone to Calvin, looking for that personal Triple Crown. But Mind That Bird is in rare air. A horse hasn't won the Derby, run second in the Preakness, and then won the Belmont since 1964. Rare accomplishment, Randy. Just about time for the post parade. There was a time when horses would go straight to the start, but Belmont changed things. This the race where the tradition became commonplace, and leading the way is number 1 Chocolate Candy. 5th in the Derby. The Diet Guru Jenny Craig owns this colt. Garrett Gomez, we told you, he's never won a Triple Crown race yet. Perhaps the best jockey in the country.
Trainer Todd Pletcher blames the poor Kentucky Derby effort of number 2 Dunkirk on an off-track and an unlucky trip. He's confident the Grey Colt will bounce back today. Pletcher, jockey Johnny Velasquez, and the Irish-based Coolmore ownership group won the Belmont 2 years ago with that filly, Rags to Riches.
The 3 is Mr. Hot Stuff. And you see Edgar Prado up in the irons. Trainer Owen Hardy described Mr. Hot Stuff as, quote, he's like Bart Simpson. He'll do anything. He'll grab a mouthful of hay and fling it as far as he can. Let's see what he does today.
Number 4, Summer Bird. There is Kent DeSormo. We've already detailed about how a year ago DeSormo failed badly here in his Triple Crown bid with Big Brown. Summer Bird was 6th in the Kentucky Derby, and like Chocolate Candy, Dunkirk, and Mr. Hot Stuff, he skipped the Preakness. Horses starting from the first 4 posts all fit that pattern.
The 5, Love Gov, owned by the Saratoga socialite queen Mary Lou Whitney, ran 8th in the Preakness.
Next up in the lineup will be the number 6 horse, Charitable Man, ridden by 23-year-old Alan Garcia, of course, who rode Long Shot Tessitore last year to a wire-to-wire win in the Belmont. Charitable Man could be on the early lead today. Could Garcia do it again?
And the roar for the Derby winner. Mayne That Bird, the 7. Calvin Borel said, we're going to win it, no questions asked. Well, Mayne That Bird finished last in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and was winless this year until that Derby stunner. What a turnaround.
Number 8, Flying Private, the only horse other than Mayne That Bird to dance all 3 dances in the Triple Crown. He was 19th and last in the Derby, 4th in the Preakness. Lucas, of course, his trainer Wayne Lucas also trains Love Gov in this race.
The 9 is the first of the Nick Zito-trained Bob LaPenta-owned starters. It's Miner's Escape in those maroon silks with the gold epaulets. That honor LaPenta's alma mater, Iona College. And they won last year with the Tara, these connections.
And rounding out the field, the other Zito horse, Brave Victory, looking for his first stakes victory. The first mount in a Triple Crown race for 23-year-old native of Jamaica, Rajiv Mirage. And that's not Jamaica, New York. That's Jamaica,
that's
Jamaica.
the real thing, yeah. So it comes down to Calvin Borel today, going for the unique Triple Crown, the jockey Triple Crown here.
Calvin, as I see you gallop by our set here, I want to ask you how his behavior, your horse's behavior, compares to the Kentucky Derby.
He's being happy, Jerry. He's real happy. He's come there in the paddock. He was dancing a little bit. I don't think he's a tired horse, and he's ready to run.
Well, let me ask you this, Calvin. Knowing that you have to relax to go 1.5 miles effectively, do you see any problem getting this horse to relax early on?
I don't think so, Jerry. Like I said, he come in a little bit hard than I thought he'd be, but he's learned a lot in the last 2 races. You know, you wouldn't imagine, and I don't think it'd be nothing for me to handle.
Would you rather have a faster pace or a slower pace?
No, I'd rather have a faster pace, Jerry.
All right.
We're not going to take him out the back door.
You're not going to take him out of the back? Just going to let him be comfortable wherever he is?
Exactly.
All right, buddy. Well, I wish you luck.
Thank you.
Calvin Borel, Mayne That Bird, 6-5 to take this classic. Now to perform New York, New York, Broadway star and recording artist Linda Eder.
Come on, come through New York, New York.
The Belmont, New York through and through. Calvin Borel and Mayne That Bird trying to make it here. This Triple Crown is played out like a daytime soap opera. So many plot twists along the way. We had the unexpected hero, the leading lady who exited stage left, and now the final act on the final stretch of dirt. The race is next.
It is just 1,100 feet from the top of the stretch to the wire at Belmont Park. Ground as hallowed as any in sports. A place where Triple Crown dreams oft go to die, with fortunes lost in a swirl of dust, and where greatness has been truly affirmed. Here unfold the final 20 seconds in the most testing 2.5 minutes in the sport. Where hope and ambition race to be fulfilled. Where myths are born. Where rendezvous with history are left unkept.
And Big Brown is plummeting.
Where legends are woven in the last few stitches of a racing moment. Where Secretariat left behind the ultimate measure of the sport. 31 lengths of daylight that stretched across history, defining greatness for all who followed.
It's going to be very close, and it's going to be a filly in the Belmont.
1,100 feet, enough to test the strength and heart of any horse who rounds that sweeping final turn. In this deep sand, winning and losing mediate all claims, each made stride by powerful stride. Here dreams are broken, hopes written anew at the Belmont Stakes.
Joe Tessitore, Randy Moss, and Jerry Bailey and the crew trackside with you. So glad you're with us. 141st running of the Belmont Stakes. Calvin Borel up aboard Mine That Bird, the storybook Triple Crown season. This is the final leg. He's a new age Cinderella man, sort of a comfort food during some tough times. An underdog thrown into the spotlight. Tough rivals, though, await here. Charitable Man unbeaten on this track. Jerry, your final thoughts here.
The old adage, pace makes the race. Let's watch as the gates open to see if number 9, Miner's Escape, challenges Charitable Man, because the first half a mile is crucial in terms of time.
And how much pressure he'll be able to put on Charitable Man. My trifecta is the same. Charitable Man first, Dunkirk second, Mine That Bird third.
And Chocolate Candy will be the first to load, owned by the diet guru Jenny Craig, ridden by Garrett Gomez, who's searching for a Triple Crown win in his career. 9-1 is Chocolate Candy.
If he's going to have a chance, Joe, he's got to stay within reason of Dunkirk. That's where he's going to run best. He's got to stay close to Dunkirk and watch to see if Miner's Bird relaxes. Mind that bird, brother.
But will this be an unlikely achievement from an unlikely pair? The overlooked and undersized gelding and the risk-reward jockey. Their time's arrived.
Of the Belmont, and they're off. Charitable Man breaks in stride for the early lead. Flying Private is there toward the outside, Miner's Escape, and then down toward the rail, Dunkirk is going to be forwardly placed. In the meantime, Mine That Bird has been taken back to last position and taken immediately to the rail by Calvin Borel. So the field moves into the first turn now, and it's Dunkirk who will be the leader today. Dunkirk leads. Miner's Escape is second on the outside. Mr. Hot Stuff third through a quarter in 23 and 2/5 seconds. Charitable Man is rating just off the pace today. He's fourth on the outside. Summerbird rides the rails in fifth. Flying Private is sixth. Chocolate Candy is now seventh, and Brave Victory is eighth. And then it's Love Gov who's racing ninth. 3 lengths back to a cool and confident Calvin Borel with Mine That Bird. They're in last position once again through a half mile that was pretty strong. 47 seconds flat, so Mine That Bird about 9 lengths from a good pace up front. And that pace is being set by Dunkirk with 7 furlongs remaining here in the Belmont Stakes. Miner's Escape is prompting the pace from the outside. Charitable Man in good striking position, now running in third. Down toward the inside, it's Mr. Hot Stuff racing fourth, and Flying Private in between horses. Down toward the inside, it's Summerbird. Alongside that one, Brave Victory is now called on for run. And then on the inside, Chocolate Candy. And second to last is Mine That Bird with 5 furlongs to go. He's 7 lengths from the lead as they enter the far turn. Love Gov is the trailer. They've run 3 quarters in 1:12 and 2. Around the far turn. Dunkirk still leading the way. Dunkirk by 3/4 of a length. Charitable Man makes a bold run at the lead. And Mine That Bird's moving like a shot. Here comes Mine That Bird with a bold
slits toward the lead on the far outside. He's catapulting by horses, and now they're coming to the stretch, and it is Mine That Bird who has taken the lead. Charitable Man is second, and Dunkirk fights on at the top of the stretch. It is Mine That Bird, fully extended by Calvin Burrell. Summer Bird is going to take a late run at him. Dunkirk is not done yet. Dunkirk comes right back. Mine That Bird, and here is Summer Bird, and here is Summer Bird to win the Belmont Stakes. Summer Bird, an 11-1 upset. Dunkirk finishing second. Mine That Bird was third in the 141st running of the Belmont Stakes.
Sweet revenge for Kent DeSormo. A year after Big Brown was dead last, Kent DeSormo comes back and wins on the other bird.
Well, a couple of things to note here, Joe. Kent DeSormo was actually on the rail down the backside where Mine That Bird usually is. And Calvin, on Mine That Bird, I think his horse got a little bit rank with him. He let him ease up a little soon. And I think, if anything, the move might have been a little premature.
All the pre-race focus, obviously and rightfully, on Mine That Bird, as you see him there, a son of Birdstone, the 2004 Belmont winner, but it was the other son of Birdstone, Summer Bird, who finished well back in the Kentucky Derby, but had an extremely wide trip in that race on a day that it was better to be down on the inside where Calvin was.
You know, my biggest concern for Calvin on Mine That Bird was for him to relax, and I think, if I could see correctly, it was hard to see across the backside, but he got a little rank with him at the 5 furlong pole and pulled him up.
Let's get down to the track to Caton Bradar.
Pulled him up close to the lead.
Right now he's given some comments and a shout out to the other bird. Kelvin, tell me what happened.
Oh, nothing. I mean, this went so slow up front, you know, and I mean, I had to let him go a little bit down the backside. He was kind of fighting me a little bit, but I don't know. I made the lead at the 16th pole, so I thought he was home free, and the other horse just galloped by.
Say he was fighting you just a little bit. Is that different from the previous races?
Yeah, well, they backed him up so slow today, you know. It was unbelievable how slow they went, you know. And he kind of grabbed a hold to the bit, so I didn't want to fight him too much, and I let him, you know, creep up easy, and like I say, he run his race. He's a little tired, but he run his race.
Your thoughts at this point on this final leg of the Triple Crown?
I'm a happy baby. I'm happy. I love mom and dad to death, and everybody back home. We'll get him next time.
Even in defeat, he has a positive outlook, Joe.
Caton, thank you very much. There is an inquiry. The red light on the tote board is up, as Kent DeSormo will have to wait until this is made official to celebrate what would be his first Belmont.
The inquiry is almost certainly regarding Dunkirk and Charitable Man. Dunkirk drifted out a bit into the path of Charitable Man in mid-stretch and forced the rider to take up just a bit, Alan Garcia. And it doesn't involve the winner, I think we can pretty safely say, at all at this point.
Calvin Burrell referenced the fact that Mine That Bird started fighting him a little bit, and that, as I said, he was in a no-win position, because if you start strangling the horse and keeping him off what he wants to do, you're going to wear him out just as quickly as if you let him run. But my point is that I think because of the fact that he got a little rank in the middle part of the race, and Calvin having to let him out, that he made the lead sooner than he wanted.
Kent DeSormo, moments away from being official that your first Belmont is in the bag a year after what happened on Big Brown. I can only imagine, Kent, what this feels like for you.
Hey, you got me? You talking to me?
Yeah, Kent, you were on the inside. You had Calvin Burrell's path down the backside. Talk us through the race a little bit.
Well, I tell you, the horse, the colt broke like a rocket, and I was like, wow, how come he's been so far back? You know, he absolutely drugged me around the racetrack. I had an armchair ride until I found some room. And when I found some room, he really just laid his body down. I tell you, this morning I left the house with a will to win this race. This race is about beauty, class, elegance. Reminds me of Sonia.
Well, Kent, were you aware that his horse was getting a little rank with him, and maybe he had to move up a little sooner than he would have liked?
No, I tell you what I realized. I realized that I was still on the armchair ride, still trapped with nowhere to go, and the horses in front of me weren't opening up. I could only hope at that point that when I did get a place to present this colt, he would increase his speed just marginally, and I would have a great chance. It worked out that way. He stretched it out. I'm so happy for Tim Ice. He's a family friend. We've had dinner together in my house many years ago. It's just all too close. My brother Keith, he's an assistant for my brother for several years, so I'm happy for him.
The Louisiana boys, congratulations. Kent Tim Ice, a rookie trainer, now for a veteran trainer, Chip Woolley. Janine's with him.
Yeah, and I was watching Chip Woolley as he was watching the race of Mind That Birds. You were screaming, you were on your feet, and the next time I looked at you, you were sitting in your chair, dejected. What are you feeling right now?
Well, I'm awful disappointed. I think my horse probably is the best horse here. We just made a little early move there, come up a little empty, you know. They said, Calvin said he was kind of fighting him a little bit down the backside, but you could tell when Calvin set him down maybe a hair early, you know, but that's a judgment call out there, and I'll pat him on the back when I see him.
Well, you must have been pretty happy when you saw him drop back to last. He wasn't fighting him then. He got the rail. It was a pretty moderate pace. You had to be fairly comfortable at that point.
When they flashed up the numbers, I thought we would win pretty much for sure. I thought when they went fast enough, 23 and 47 was fast enough to bring them back a little. Thought we were in good shape, but I could see down the backside Calvin was letting him drift up. And when you let this horse do that, he's gonna try to go, you know. And so he'd have been better off probably keeping him covered up down on the fence for a while. But you know, it's easy to say now. Calvin was out there trying to win the race, and we just got beat.
Well, you have a win, a second, and a third in the 3 Triple Crown races. Your horse did a heck of a job. Where might we see him next, or have you even thought that far ahead?
We've thought some about it. We'll assess the horse and maybe go back to Churchill Monday, rest him a little bit, and come up with a plan and announce that in a few days, as long as he's 100% and healthy.
Well, we'll let you go catch up with Calvin. Thanks, Chip.
As for the inquiry, let's show you what the stewards here at Belmont are looking at.
Well, Dunkirk right there underneath the arrow is going to drift out slightly right into Charitable Man in the pink silks. Let's look at this one more time. Dunkirk underneath the gray horse underneath the arrow is going to drift out slightly. Well, he has already done it at this point, but Charitable Man's in the pink silks there, and he's the one that gets interfered with ever so slightly. I'm not sure this is actually going to come down.
As it stands right now, Dunkirk second behind Summerbird, Mind That Bird third, Charitable Man fourth.
If there is a disqualification, of course, Dunkirk would have to be placed behind the horse he interfered with, allegedly, which is Charitable Man. So Mind That Bird then would be moved up to second if
so,
there's a disqualification.
I mean, now this is critically important for everybody holding an exotic ticket, an exacta or trifecta. There's a lot of money on the line here, especially considering that Summerbird was 11-1 as the winner of the Belmont.
And there's a happy winner on the far left. It's the man they call Dr. J. Kalarikal Jayaraman. He and his wife Devi are the breeders and owners of Summerbird. They've been breeding horses for a quarter century. Dr. J hit a slam dunk today, I'm telling you.
Boy, did he. KK and Devi. Husband and wife, natives of India. They're doctors from Hot Springs, Arkansas, and they have a breeding farm in Florida, and they are the owners of Summerbird, your unofficial winner of the Belmont Stakes. And Kent DeSormo, wow, what a story. A year ago, all the fingers being pointed at DeSormo, easing up Big Brown, and now he comes here with the son of the 2004 Belmont winner Birdstone, who denied Smarty Jones the Triple Crown and denies Calvin Burrell, the media darling, his own Triple Crown.
And Kent had said this week, you know, I've won 3 Kentucky Derbies, I've won 2 Preaknesses, but he had never won the Belmont Stakes. He was quoted as saying that he felt that was a gap in his resume, and certainly it's a gap that's been filled in emphatically here with a long shot. The other bird, Summerbird in the Belmont.
Well, if you like details, Summerbird had a change of equipment going into this race, and it was blinkers on.
Much more to come. The trophy presentation will make these prices official from here at Belmont after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Joe Tessitore, Jerry Bailey, Randy Moss back with you at the Belmont, where Kent DeSormo is raising it high. Summerbird is the victor here, and it is now official. And things stayed as they were. Summerbird brings back 25.80. Dunkirk holds up there Mind That Bird, the show money. The full order of finish.
Continuing disappointments for the California horses who've been racing on synthetic surfaces, trying the dirt one more time. You see down toward the bottom, Mr. Hot Stuff, 8th. Chocolate Candy, 9th. They were the 3rd and 2nd place finishers, respectively, in the Santa Anita Derby.
Let's look at what Chip Woolley said about that early move by Mind That Bird. We've got a long way to go yet. Mind That Bird is moving already right there. And look at the winner is Summer Bird. He's on the fence in front of Mind That Bird, midway, a little past midway point in this race. Calvin eases up, actually lets him go by Summer Bird, and Kent DeSormo looks out and says, hey, I'm not ready to go yet. The pace is quick enough. I don't need to move. Calvin having to let Mind That Bird run to keep from fighting him, to me, too early. I think Chip Woolley just agreed.
I think it had something to do with the fact he was so eager, don't you?
I do, but here we go now. We're looking at turning for home. Kent DeSormo on Summer Bird. Mind That Bird looks like he's going to win, but for him, this is making the lead way too soon. He usually doesn't make the lead until inside the 8th pole, and the red and white pole is a quarter of a mile to go. So the advantage here goes to Summer Bird if he's got enough horse, and certainly Kent DeSormo had saved it. What redemption for Kent over last year.
I want to take you guys back to what was said in a quote earlier this week by Kent DeSormo when asking of the experience of knowing this track, of knowing where to be, at what point on the turn, when to make your move. He said, Calvin is naive of these circumstances.
Well, and let me tell you what experience he speaks from when he says that. This is not just redemption for Kent DeSormo for Big Brown last year. Go back to Real Quiet in 1998. DeSormo lost the Triple Crown by a nose to Victory Gallop, a small nose, and he was criticized widely for moving Real Quiet too soon. That was his 3rd career mount in the Belmont Stakes, and even then, he was criticized for making an early move.
Well, not to lay this all on Calvin, because we noticed that Mind That Bird was a little more agitated warming up. He was a little more worked up, and that's why I said it all depends on how he relaxes for Calvin, and he certainly didn't stay relaxed in this race as long as he did in the earlier races.
For Kent DeSormo, the 6th Triple Crown race he has won, but the first Belmont, the race that has caused him so much pain in his career, he secures it here today. And Mind That Bird doesn't get it done, although finishing in the money in all 3 Triple Crown races. Trophy presentation to Summer Bird when we return. Danny and Hank, your final thoughts. Summer Bird pulling the upset here.
Yeah, and a different horse controlling the pace. Dunkirk fighting to stay on to gain 2nd. Hank, you thought Calvin Burrell should have run over the track either during the week or on the same day as the Belmont.
Well,
now is it bigger than that given how he made the move in the race?
Well, they're going to be talking about the premature move, and that might have something to do with it. But I also want to point out that the Triple Crown is a grind. The horses that ran 1st, 2nd, and 4th did not participate in all of the Triple Crown races. This horse is a great horse, and he might have been tired as well.
Yeah, and before people go off on Calvin Burrell too much, if not for the move he made in the Kentucky Derby, a move a lot of jockeys wouldn't have had the nerve to make, we wouldn't be in this position to be questioning him. Joe?
There are going to be questions, though, and it's a very good point by Hank Goldberg, because now 5 times in the last 7 years, fresh legs have gotten it done in the Belmont. The gruel of that Triple Crown, what it takes, it taxes these horses. We've seen it time and time again. The upsets here at Belmont, they never stop.
It's 6 times now in the last 11 years that the Belmont has been won by a horse who ran in the Kentucky Derby, who skipped the Preakness, and then sort of laid in the bushes here. But let's give a lot of credit, though, to Mind That Bird. Now, he finished 3rd, beaten 3 lengths, and I figure he probably lost at least 3 lengths of ground around the 2nd turn relative to Summer Bird, who was racing on the rail. So trips had a lot to do with it.
Everything that went right for Calvin Burrell in the Kentucky Derby went wrong today. The horse got a little aggressive with him. He moved him outside. When he moved him outside, the horse got more aggressive. He got caught wide. The winner had he had the Calvin Burrell Derby trip, did Summer Bird. So they just flip-flopped the trips.
Many times we talk about a jockey getting hot. You could see it as the day was going on here with Kent DeSormo.
Yes, you could. 3 wins earlier on the card consecutively. Do you think there's anything to the theory that a jockey gets pumped up and can transfer maybe some of that confidence?
Well, I think you make more right decisions when you're doing things right, and it produces more right decisions. So yes, I do think you put horses in places they should be in rather than places they shouldn't be.
Kent DeSormo was that hot jockey today. What a turnaround. The sweet revenge for DeSormo after last year's debacle on Big Brown. And this concludes our coverage of the Belmont Stakes. Now don't forget, watch Game 2 of the NBA Finals, Orlando Magic, LA Lakers. Coverage begins Sunday at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. For Reese Davis, Jerry Bailey, Randy Moss, Kenny Mayne, Hank Goldberg, Janine Edwards, Jay Privman, Steve Cyphers, and Tom Rinaldi, I'm Joe Tessitore. Summerbird takes the Belmont.